here and we get to put this other places, copy link, be right back. Hey guys, it's Steph. Just hanging out Friday afternoon for a little while before Friday's festivities start, and wanted to say hi. It's been really, really quiet all over the place as far as Star Wars, Lucasfilm. There is a rumor out there that I addressed, I think, as far as Pedro Pascal being nominated to play Indiana Jones in a reboot. I know you're all gagging. The guy doesn't have a masculine bone in his body, and he's being lifted up by Hollywood because he's a Latino. That's it. That's why. And it's really, I kind of think, insulting to George Lucas that they would, and Harrison Ford, that anybody would even think that he would be a good replacement. I mean, that's just me. You know, I've got this blueberry water, and it's really good, and I like it a lot. So I've been drinking that. Of course, my mushroom coffee. Really tired in the afternoon. It's really interesting when you're walking around stores and it's air conditioning. You walk outside and you're like, it kind of saps you, I think. But you know, that is what it is. But so the there isn't anything going on. I mean, Jurassic World, World Dominant, whatever it's called, whatever the new Jurassic Park movie. I'm so done. I hate this. You know, the first one was great. Just let it, just leave it there, okay? It's doing pretty well. I think Superman is going to beat it. I've heard mixed reviews about Superman. I personally take insult at truth, justice, and the human way, considering that Kal-El isn't human at all. Okay, he's not. And that is just a fuck you to MAGA, I think, in my opinion. But James Gunn is an interesting guy. His the rumors about him are not very good. Do I believe him? No, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? You know, I mean, whatever. So there, you've got that going, but it's made $22 million in previews yesterday. I mean, so I'm looking forward to seeing the new Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson. The trailer is hilarious, so I'm gonna see it. What else? And that's about it. It's been really quiet, so we don't really know what's going on. We know that Pippa Anderson, I think, probably retired from Lucasfilm, and Dustin Sandoval, who was doing the social media stuff at Lucasfilm, is gone now. He left, but so far, that's it. Oh, and interestingly enough, Christine Tellerides, the woke soccer mom, she's way down at the bottom of the leadership list. She had removed her pronouns from the list, and they're back now, or from her IMDb account, and they're back now. She's basically batshit crazy. All right, you look at her and you think, are we gonna get a TikTok video of her screaming into the void? Because that'd be great. I mean, that would be great. What else is going on? So yeah, but that's it. That's the only news of any changes I can see. Again, they're filming Ahsoka in England, and I'm not sure what is going on here, but this is usually the time of year after a movie gets released that Marshall and Kennedy go on some sort of European junket. And I'm thinking that she's been in England for a while. I'm really worried that she stuck her nose into filming of Ahsoka. I really don't see Dave Filoni being strong enough to tell her to go take a walk, considering that Jon Favreau is the immediate producer of it, and he's doing stuff for Oswald the Bunny. This Oswald the Bunny is a very old Disney character before Mickey Mouse, and when Disney came up with Mickey, he just kind of put Oswald on the shelf. So now John is reviving him. I don't really know what's going on. I don't. It's one of those things where every time Kennedy is anywhere near production, everything goes to hell. Right? Everything goes to hell. So you don't really know what's going on, but are they just on vacation? Is it there again? No news, nothing to talk about on that front. But here's something kind of fun to talk about. As you know, George Lucas has built a museum, hasn't opened yet, in Los Angeles, and it's called the Lucas Museum of Narrative Film. And it came into the news recently because the person he hired as like the museum director was a very woke black woman, and he fired her, and he's now running it himself, and he's doing his very first panel at Comic-Con, and Lucasfilm's Doug Chiang is going to be there, and Guillermo del Toro is going to be there, and it's being mediated by Queen Latifah. It's like you got all these people who are really connected to this kind of film, and then you've got whatever that is. Like, why don't you just get somebody like, I don't know, James Cameron, or maybe even Steven Spielberg to moderate it. Okay, somebody that kind of knows this stuff. Maybe Ridley Scott. Fucking Queen Latifah. Really? Is it because she is a talk show? She was once a talk show host. Anyway, so he's gonna be doing that, and it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think if I had any reason to go to Los Angeles, besides going to pay respects to, Carrie Fisher and to other, stars that we are no longer with us, I would probably go to that museum. I think it'll be really neat. The fact that it's George's vision will be something special, and I really think it's going to be something that hopefully will inspire some creativity out there in Tinseltown, because there sure as fuck isn't any right now. But that's about it. I mean, we can speculate all we want about when Kennedy's leaving. We've got the Disney financial conference call coming up in third quarter conference call coming up in August, on August 7th or 8th. I don't know what time, probably 8:30 in the morning Eastern. We've got that going on. That's coming up, but that they never say anything. They never say anything. And I think it's very smart for people out there to be concerned about Kathleen Kennedy's whereabouts as they're filming Ahsoka. Unless they're filming the second part first and the first part second, right? Because you don't, look, if you think movies film things in sequence, they don't. I mean, they don't, filmmakers don't do that. If you look at how they filmed The Godfather, you have, Vito in the house as the wedding's going on, greeting people, bringing honors to him with a cat on his lap. 3 days later, they're filming Michael walking. Yeah, she's done, you fucking idiot. She's done, okay? So go earn WDW Pro's knee pads, you faggot. There. That I don't tolerate. I mean, people like, all right, this is what we've got. We've got Mr. Ian whining about Kennedy and just, spewing black pill shit because they make money on it. They look, I'm going to say this, I've said this before. Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, Ryan Cannell, WDW Pro, all make money off of making you miserable. They don't want the narrative that Star Wars is dead and Kennedy's never leaving to disappear because you get angry, you get emotional, and you spend money on them. Let's put it this way. I have a feeling that at least 2 of those examples that I've given you don't make money any other way except for on YouTube. Okay. This is not a good business plan, right? Because you're using YouTube's platform and they can shut you down anytime they want. And they don't want someone saying, yeah, but. I have learned something about even people on my side of the aisle, that the ability to think critically is not existent. It's all emotion. The internet does it, and no one thinks, all right? And this is why I'm happily on the outs with a lot of these people. I'm not gonna sit and waste my time talking to people who bully others to think and to say the same things they are. They want their echo chamber because they're not mature enough to deal with it. They can't handle change, obviously. They can't fight. They're unable to fight for what's right. They would rather be victims. And look, they honestly think they can bankrupt Disney. I mean, there are people in that world at Midnight's Edge and Geeks and Gamers and Drunk 3PO and the whole 9 yards who think they can bankrupt Disney. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, but Disney is not going to A, sell Lucasfilm, B, that you're not going to bankrupt them, and all you're doing is making everybody's lives fucking miserable because you're miserable. But you make money off of being miserable. It's a narrative. And the moment Kennedy steps back, they've already got their next victim. It's Dave Filoni. And if you tell them, Dave was basically the Padawan of George Lucas, they'll either scream, they were never that close, which is bullshit. It's A, bullshit. Or B, Dave betrayed him. What the fuck are you talking about? It's mind-boggling to me that people believe shit like that, right? That Dave would betray George Lucas, the guy that taught him everything about Star Wars and let him have some creative freedom. It's absolutely stupid. But if it fits the Ryan Cannell, Nerdrotic, Brian Nebrick, aka WDW Pro, narrative, they believe it. And they don't even have to believe it. It's like, you know, Gavin Newsom running around screaming that was a strawberry farm, when everyone goddamn well knew that it was a pot farm. They were using slave labor, child labor, and illegally paying them under minimum wage, which is illegal too. It's like, please stop. Just stop, okay? Just stop. And the reason why is because you're telling me something about yourself. You're such a negative asshole that you don't care about Star Wars. You don't care about Indiana Jones. You were never a fan. I say where I went with that. You don't care enough to fight for it. You don't care enough to actually do the due diligence and do your research and think outside the box. Again, a lot of these guys are younger than I am, so they weren't taught how to think critically. And critical thinkers are always the ones that get in trouble when we go, that's not what that says. That's not what that means. They did when Cameron contradicted Tom. The person who lost was every viewer of Midnight's Edge, even if they don't know it. Why? Because there's another way of looking at things from an experience point of view. Tom doesn't have experience in office settings like that. He doesn't know how office politics works. Neither does Gary Beekler, who's spent a lot of his time, I think, either at, Long Poker, San Quentin, okay? Ryan Cannell doesn't. He's a Navy enlisted man. And, as far as I'm concerned, Pro is a failed travel agent. I mean, these people don't know what they're talking about. And they wouldn't know to say, okay, so this house is for sale. Where can I find its history? There's a website. I'm not gonna say what it is. You sign up for 35 free searches, and you find anything you want, and you just copy it down. You take a screenshot. They don't know what a backhanded comment is. Well, and neither do the blue pills. Like, for instance, when George complimented The Last Jedi being a pretty film, he wasn't saying the story was great. He just said it looked nice. Ryan put lipstick on a pig. That's what that was. And these guys they have no connection to Lucasfilm. Nobody at Lucasfilm is going to talk to them. But the people who subscribe to their membership and they go on and they listen voraciously, they have to believe all this negative crap because they can't believe things are changing. I mean, it's like if you're a rhino and you see ICE arresting a bunch of child molesting, rapist illegal aliens, right? Oh, MAGA, it doesn't work. Hey, there's a promise being kept, right? I mean, there you go. The tariffs don't work. Yeah, they do, right? The Doge cuts aren't happening. We're seeing 1,500 State Department employees get laid off today. The Doge cuts are happening. But they have to believe the bad again because it's their narrative. And it actually works into Kennedy's favor. That incoherent psychobabble interview she put out after Matt Bellamy came out and said she was leaving soon. And then he had to come back and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm not lying. And he went off and bit back hard, and then no more. came of it. He had the last word. They actually believed every word she said. And what she did was she made a meandering, incoherent, I think batshit crazy attempt to say she was but wasn't. Like, Matt never said she was retiring from filmmaking. He said she was leaving Lucasfilm. All right, but she took it and ran with it and said something else. Why? Because she has to have Gary and Guys at Midnight's Edge and WW Pro and the rest of them believe she's not. Because she wants to fuck with John and Dave. And she wants to fuck with Bob Iger. And that's what that is. I mean, it's very interesting to me when all that came out. And you guys know, I mean, if you didn't know this, I kind of sent a snarky, I posted a snarky message under one of her husband's posts on Instagram. And he was trying to act like, oh, this is bullshit, whatever. Not bullshit. He didn't know what to do because he didn't think anybody was going to go. I mean, look, you never get in front of your enemy. You never stop your enemy from making a mistake. You never get in his way. Let them make a mistake. Let her make her mistakes, right? You don't help her by confirming her bullshit, right? That's not how you do it. This is the stuff I learned on Capitol Hill. I mean, when the Homeland Security hearing was happening, and Pelosi was screaming, violations of the Constitution. We were like, well, and because what she was trying to do was drum up anti-Republican support. Now, you flip it around, and Barack Obama's president, he doubled down on that, right? And then that became the narrative. More censorship, more central control, whatever. Whatever fits the political, the political moment for one side or another. Oh, the sequel trilogy is never going away. Kennedy's never leaving. All this fucking bullshit. I mean, really, I think Tom and Gary and the rest of these people should be ashamed of themselves. I really think they should. The reason why is because they're lying to their subscribers. Now, I've been told that makes money, therefore it's okay. No, it's not okay. Oh, no, it's not okay. If it's not okay for CNN to outright lie about the big, beautiful bill, then it's not okay for a YouTube channel to lie about what's going on at any movie studio. And there you go, all right? You tell the truth, even if it pisses off the people that either want it to happen, but don't want people to know it's happening, because if they know it's happening, these people don't have anything to talk about. They can't make any money anymore. One side wants money and power over the information. The other side wants to hurt their perceived enemy and to shove their politics in everybody's fucking face. Be it DEI, woke, LGBTQ shit, anti-white racist bigotry, anti-Semitism, or anti-Asian stuff, which I've seen. It's like, what the fuck? What? Because that's all DEI. Both sides have to have even their own people, even their own side divided. And that's how they keep control. Anybody ever watch Revenge of the Sith and, watch what Palpatine was doing? George wrote that masterfully. The Emperor he divided the galaxy between the Separatists and the Republic and the Jedi. Then he divided the Jedi from the Republic, right? And then it all collapsed. And he got rid of people that were not his were not helping him move the ball forward. He got rid of Dooku. He let Anakin kill him, convinced Anakin to kill him, because Anakin was a more promising, you know, uh, second in command, right? More promising apprentice. And that's how he did that. Now you've got, all right, black pills, blue pills, red pills. I'm a red pill. Black pills want everybody divided because they make money selling negativity. If it bleeds, it leads. Blue pills want you all divided because if, for some reason, the woke shit, Vice Admiral Gender Studies, Kyle Ron, the dog-faced boy, Ray Palpatine disappear from, they no longer are Star Wars fans. They don't have any control over it. And that's the way they control things. I mean, Pablo Hidalgo, back in the day, I'm going to look this up, I think. I'm going to ask Grok to look this up, and if he can't find it, I'll look it up on Google. Back in the day, Pablo Hidalgo in 2013 went on a podcast, and at the end of the podcast, it was after the podcast was over, they were all still talking, and he said they were getting rid of the EU, and that something about indoctrinating the kids. Pablo is a red diaper wearing baby. His dad was from Chile and was an immigrant during the Pinochet helicopter extravaganza. You know, I think one of my favorite YouTube accounts I've seen is Pinochet's helicopter tours. I am an ardent anti-communist. Okay. I'm an ardent anti-communist. I am an ardent anti-socialist of any kind, be it Nazi socialism, fascism, or whatever else. Get the fuck away from me. Get the hell out of this country. I am a voracious capitalist, and I believe in the power of the individual. Ayn Rand once said, the most discriminated minority in the world is the individual. And she was right. Here in the United States, the individual rights are protected. We are not a democracy. Why? Because the founding fathers looked at the democracy and basically said, we don't want 51% telling 49% of the people what they can and can't do, and making the decisions for a bunch of people that don't agree with them. So individual rights are being protected here. And if you look at the U.S. Constitution and you look at the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution, the Bill of Rights, it's all laid out for you. You can say whatever you want. You can worship God any way you want or not. And on and on and on, right? Everything. And it's like, when I see people mobbing up on people here in the United States, like, she doesn't agree with me because Kathleen Kennedy, it's like, what? This person has the right to say that. What the black pills do is the same thing, do to people is the same thing that Kennedy's little flying monkeys did to Gina Carano. Pedro Pascal. Oh, no one gives a shit if your brother thinks he's a girl. Shut the fuck up. Very ardently calls people who disagree with him, who are American citizens, Nazis. He doesn't get lectured to. He doesn't get censored by Disney or Lucasfilm. Gina loses her job because she dared to question the narrative on COVID. She dared to question the narrative on DEI bullshit. All right? That's not how you American. Okay? Give a shit. To me, if you're working for Lucasfilm, you probably shouldn't even talk politics. Anywhere, ever. All right? I have friends who work in Hollywood who, you know, are Trump supporters, and like a friend of mine had a girl he's been kind of seeing at a party, and she's in film, and so is he. And this guy had heard that she was from Canada, and he came over to offer condolences for how mean Trump was to Canada. She's not from Ottawa, not from Toronto, not from Montreal. She's from the freaking West. She ripped his head off. And but my friend said, you know, more and more people are starting to bite back at that shit. And I'm like, good, do it, right? That's the only way you can get people to respect you, is to say, I think this, I don't care what you think, you're not informed, don't at me, bro, okay? You know, Gina had every right to critique what was going on. What Disney and Lucasfilm didn't have the right to do is to send her packing. Because if you're not going to censor Pedro Pascal for insulting 76 million Americans, then you damn well shouldn't censor Gina Carano, right? And there hasn't been anything coming out about her case, even though weirdly she put a smiley face up on her X account. Was a smiley face, or was it a wink? And gosh, a long time ago now, she posted, and I'm gonna paraphrase it because I can't remember the full quote. I just heard something, but if I say anything, everybody will know who told me. It could be anything. But, you know, we Star Wars fans had to jump and think, is it about her case? Is it about The Mandalorian? Is it about, you know, something with concerning Kennedy? You know, in her case, they hired or got Volok to the guy that ran the Volok conspiracy blog, Eugene Volok, to get onto that case. Eugene Volok is one of the brightest constitutional lawyers out there. And if he jumps in, as far as I'm concerned, they might as well just settle. Okay? They might as well just settle. Have I heard anything from Karen McCarthy about the Karen McCarthy thing? Not recently. I think that's going to be settled too soon. And it just depends on when Miss Kathy decides to leave. And look, when this happens, be it from August 1st to the 1st of January, that's the time frame. When all this happens, she's going to make the excuse that she's really not there because she is going to have executive producer credits, which mean nothing. Okay, they mean nothing. You know, I'll give you an example. Do you, anybody out there, and you can put a 1 in the chat if you agree, and a 0 if you don't, actually believe Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, who got executive producer credits for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, had anything to do with that dumpster fire creatively? No. In fact, before the cast was announced, Spielberg left. Why? It is my suspicion. The reason why he left is because Phoebe Waller-Bridge is unlikable. It's like you put you're at a desert oasis, you're getting ready for bed, you put your sleeping bag open and there's a freaking poison scorpion laying there. That's Phoebe Waller-Bridge, okay? And Kennedy has this propensity to always hire the same person. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, she should have hired Daisy Ridley to play Rey Palpatine, Jen Erso, and Helena Shaw, because that all is Kennedy. All those characters are just fucking Kennedy. Jen Erso less so because she actually let that be a movie. She actually just let it be a movie. But with the Skywalker saga, no. And with Indiana Jones, no. And when you're looking at it and you think, why did she lie to George? She did lie to him. We're going to protect these characters. Drunk deadbeat dad Han Solo. Cowardly Luke Skywalker and Leia, whatever the fuck that is not protecting those characters. And a video I uploaded earlier this week, had they just followed George's path, his first script notes and script treatment, and they followed it, they would be riding high. They would be right, but no, they didn't. They wanted to take the easy way out, and the easy way out was, let's reboot. And that's exactly what hey Dan, how you doing? And that's exactly what they did, is they rebooted A New Hope. I mean, there's nothing creative about The Force Awakens. There's nothing good about it, right? And if you're still saying it was a good movie, you're not being intellectually honest, all right? So, Kotang Sensei here, Dan Watanabe, is one of my good friends, and I've got to leave pretty soon, so I'm going to cut this short. And you guys have a good afternoon. And hey Dan, what do you think? Yeah.
Right, I'll be outside waiting for you.
Okay. And I'm gonna I'll be around later. This one big piece of news: Cameron has been fighting pneumonia. Now he's slowly getting better, but the news is slow. A lot because of that. So pray for him, and if you're on his Patreon, send him good wishes. Okay, and I will see you guys around the galaxy. All right, see you guys later. And Dan is right. Executive producer on TV means showrunner. Executive producer on movies means money, rights, or some uncreative connection. Weird, but that's how it works. Anyway, see you guys around the galaxy.